On September 26, 1983, one man had 4 minutes to decide whether to start World War III. He chose to do nothing, and that decision saved every single person alive on Earth today, including you. His name was Stanislav Petrov. You have never heard of him. That is exactly the problem. To understand what happened that night, we need to go back to 1983. The Cold War was at its most dangerous point in decades. The United States and Soviet Union had enough nuclear weapons between them to destroy the entire planet 17 times over. Both sides lived in permanent terror of one thing, a first strike. The idea that the other side would launch their missiles first and wipe out your ability to fight back. So both sides built early warning systems, satellites and computers designed to detect an incoming missile launch and give just enough time to launch a counterattack. The logic was simple and terrifying. If they launch, we launch, before their missiles land. Mutual assured destruction. MAD. The whole world balanced on that acronym. On the night of September 26, 1983, Stanislav Petrov was the duty officer at Serpukhov 15, the Soviet nuclear early warning bunker just outside Moscow. His job was simple: watch the screens. If the computers detect an American missile launch, report it immediately up the chain of command. The generals would take it from there. At exactly 12:40 a.m., the alarm went off. The computer system reported that the United States had just launched one intercontinental ballistic missile toward the Soviet Union. The room went into panic. Every person in that bunker looked at Petrov, waiting. Protocol was clear: report it. The generals would order a counterstrike before the American missile landed. Petrov had 4 minutes. Then the screen updated. Not one missile, 5 missiles. The United States had launched 5 nuclear missiles at the Soviet Union. The room was screaming. Staff were running. Every instinct, every protocol, every training exercise pointed to one action: pick up the phone, report the launch. Petrov did not pick up the phone. He looked at the screen. He thought about what he knew, and something didn't feel right. Here is what went through his mind in those 4 minutes. First, if the Americans were going to start World War III, why would they launch only 5 missiles? The US had over 1,000 warheads. 5 missiles wasn't an attack. 5 missiles was nothing. A real first strike would be hundreds, thousands. Second, the Soviet ground radar was not confirming the launch. The satellite system was screaming, but the radar on the ground was picking up nothing. 2 alarm bells in his head. Wrong number of missiles, ground radar not confirming. He had seconds left. Stanislav Petrov picked up the phone. He called his commanding officer, and he said 4 words. This is a false alarm. He had no proof. The computer was still screaming. The room was still in panic. He had nothing but his gut and 4 minutes of thinking. He was right. What had happened was almost embarrassingly simple. The Soviet satellite system had picked up sunlight reflecting off clouds over Montana and mistaken it for missile launches. A software glitch, a trick of the light, nearly ended the world. If Petrov had followed protocol, the call goes to the generals launch a counterstrike, the Americans detect incoming Soviet missiles, America launches everything they have, and within 30 minutes, every major city on Earth is gone. Because of sunlight, reflecting off clouds over Montana. What happened to Stanislav Petrov after that night? He was not celebrated. He was not given a medal. He was quietly reprimanded for failing to properly fill out his log report during the incident. The Soviet military never officially acknowledged what happened. They buried it because admitting their early warning system had nearly started a nuclear war by accident was too embarrassing. Petrov was eventually forced into early retirement. He spent the rest of his life in a small apartment outside Moscow, alone, largely forgotten. He died in 2017. His death wasn't reported for months. Nobody noticed. The man who saved the world died alone in a small apartment, and the world didn't even know his name. Now you do. Subscribe. The next one is just as dark.